And I am giving a speech for online public speaking through Levette Community College. Whenever you are watching TV and it goes to commercials, a commercial break which usually lasts a minute apiece, there's sometimes that show that comes on and it's about animals and just saying like, oh, adopt these, they're upset, like you could give them the luxury life, and it makes you upset. I personally look away because I can't look at it. I will be upset and automatically go try and buy one. But I think that commercial affects everybody. So today I'm going to be talking about how adopting is better than buying from a breeder. To start off with, whenever you have an animal, they become like your best friend. You love for them, care for them, you want to do everything with them. And whenever they pass away, that's really hard for you. So imagine how an animal would feel in a shelter, stuck in there, and nobody wants it. And then eventually the shelter just can't care for it anymore and don't have enough room for other animals, so they put it down. How would that make you feel to be, like for instance you, how would you feel to be put down because nobody wanted you? Breeders, well, they have like a breeding farm and they just put a bunch of dogs together and make sure that they are producing puppies and just making more offspring. So buying from a breeder just gives them more opportunities, more money, and they keep their business going. But that's not something that you want to do because breeders are not the best person to buy from. For instance, they could abuse the animals. They obviously force them to breed, which is not good. And you're just giving them more opportunities to get money. Whenever you could go adopt a pet from a shelter, any shelter, there are millions, for $30. And most of the time, it's an animal that is sick or has been on the side of the road, could be starved to death, abandoned, just anything. Most of the time, whenever you find a abandoned pet, it's because owners leave them behind because they're moving and don't have time for them, or the dog will end up running away and then the owners never find it, so then it's just stuck on the side of the street roaming for food because the owners obviously never took good enough care of it for it to stay at home. I personally have adopted 3 animals. They're my babies. 2 of them are dogs and 1 of them is a cat, and I've had them for 6 years. 2 of them have passed away, which is very sad, but it's okay. My cat, his name is Nacho. He's the only one living, but his name was given to him by the shelter because they obviously don't know the animal's name whenever they find them, so they just like name them what they want. So his name is Nacho, and we renamed him Loki because he's awesome and rules like Loki off of Thor and that whole situation. But anyways, we adopted our 3 animals because we thought that they didn't get the care that they needed in the shelter, because all that they do is give them a little space to sleep in, food and water on the daily, and then they can stay in there. It's just sad whenever you see somebody walk by and then they look at the dog and then they don't end up getting it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something depressing. Like, I just imagine myself in that situation and I wouldn't want to be in that at all. So basically we bought them for like $20-$30 each. They're always having cells just because they don't have the space for them. And we gave them the care that they needed. One of them, actually, he was a Shar-Pei and he was abused. So he was very frantic and wouldn't let anybody touch him for a while because obviously he was abused and he was afraid that we were going to hurt him. But that wasn't our intention. We just wanted to care for him. So we gave him his space until he got comfortable with us, which of course, I mean, he still had his moments. Like, we couldn't get close to his face or anything because he would freak out and try and bite somebody because he thought that they were gonna hurt him. But as long as you kept your space with him and just loved on him very gently, let him smell you before, that way he could get a sense of who you are, you were perfectly fine with it. Buying animals from shelters is just a whole different thing than buying them from breeders. It gives the animal a new life, a new opportunities. They want to be loved, and they feel abandoned and upset because their previous owners didn't want them. They could have just been left on the side of the road or sold just to people who weren't very good people. So adopting animals is a better way to go about becoming a pet owner, because it gives more opportunities to pets, and that way they don't end up in the shelter where they aren't being cared for. And giving an animal the love that you can give them and all the support you need is important, especially to animals who have never been cared for. Just imagine yourself in that position. Thank you.